Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be learning how to make the super cropped sweater. I know most of you have seen it on my page, but in the knit version. So I'm going to be doing a crochet version. This is my very first try at it, and I wanted to just record it as I went on with it. So the materials you'll need are a 5mm crochet hook, a tapestry needle to weave in your ends, a pair of scissors, and then yarn. And for the yarn I'm going to be using Seal, a 3-ply chunky yarn in the color brown, and it's 100% acrylic. So I liked the knit version, but when I did a poll on my Instagram, most of you guys told me to do a crochet version, so I'm giving it a try. So let's start. Oh, you also need 1 stitch marker. Make sure you have 1 stitch marker. So let's start. You're going to start off with a slip knot, and you're going to make a chain of 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So on the 15th chain, you're going to place a stitch marker there. And then you go ahead and make 35 more chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I have my 35 chains, and then I have 15 chains here. So you're going to chain up 1 more. So the total right now is 51, because we have 35 here and we have 15, which makes 50, and the 1 extra chain that I've made here. So we have a total of 51 chains. So you're going to go into the 2nd chain from the hook with a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook in the 2nd chain from the hook, and place 1 half double crochet all the way to the stitch marker. So 1 half double crochet in each and every stitch until you reach the stitch that has the stitch marker. So you'll have a total of 35 half double crochets before you reach the stitch marker. So we're almost coming to the stitch marker. So this is the very last stitch before the stitch marker. You can see that. So we're going to remove this stitch marker and place a single crochet in that stitch where the stitch marker was, and then put it back in that very stitch, and then continue to single crochet all the way to the end. So you should have a total of 15 single crochets at the end of the row. We have 35 half double crochets and 15 single crochets. which makes a total of 50 stitches, because the 35 and then the 15. So we have this right now. Single crochets from here up to the end, and then half double crochets from here up to the end on this side. So we're going to row 2. So for row 2, you're going to chain up 1, turn your work, and single crochet, back loop only in the very first stitch, back loop only. So we are not going into the stitch like this, we're going only into the back loop, and make a single crochet, and continue to single crochet back loop only until you reach the stitch marker. So keep in mind that the stitch marker, the stitch that has the stitch marker always has to have a single crochet, so that you don't get confused. So remove this, place your single crochet back loop only, and then put it back there. And then from here onwards, you're going to do half double crochet back loop only all the way up. And then I'll meet you when we are coming to the end of row 2, because we have to do something different. So right now we are coming to the end of row 2, and into the very last stitch here, you're going to do half double crochet back loop only, but we are going to increase, so we're going to do 2 half double crochets in that stitch. So after your 2 half double crochets at the end of the row, you're going to chain up 1 and turn your work. Now we are going to row 3, and we're going to do half double crochet back loop only, but we are increasing on this side still. So 1 here and then another one in that very stitch. So you can see your work is slanting towards this side. This is our increased side. This side has no increases because this is the base of our sleeve, where the sleeve is at the wrist. So after increasing here, you're going to go into each and every stitch with the back loop half double crochet all the way down until you reach the stitch marker. So this is row 3. So back loop half double crochet until you reach the stitch marker, and don't forget the stitch marker, the stitch that has the stitch marker gets single crochet, not half double crochet. So you work all the way down. So the reason why I'm doing back loop only is because I want those ridges. I love the lines like popping out, so we get some texture for our sweater. It's not so plain. I'll be doing another tutorial for those who would like the bulky sleeves, so that we give it another approach. So we are here at the stitch marker, remove it, do a single crochet back loop only, put it back, and then continue to do single crochet back loop only in the rest of the stitches. So that's the repeat for this. You're going to go ahead and keep doing this until you have a total of 11 rows. Yes, 11 rows. If your arm is bigger, you may consider doing some more rows, maybe up to around 15. But I'm saying 11 because the very first row didn't have any increases, so we shall consider it to be part of the last rows. So instead of doing 10 rows at the end of the sleeve, we shall be doing 9 rows, so that this is the 10th. So continue to do 11 rows. So this is row 3, and then we are starting row 4 with back loop single crochet all the way to the stitch marker, and this row 4 is going to resemble row 2. So the even rows are going to be the same and the odd rows are going to be the same. So keep increasing at the end that has the half double crochets. Make sure you keep increasing like this. You keep placing 2 half double crochets in the last stitch. So I'm going to go off camera and I work my 11 rows, and then I'll get back when I have them ready. Make sure you always don't drop your stitch marker. Alright, so here we have our 11 rows, and this is how the sleeve looks like, the one that's next to the wrist, and then it goes on widening, and you can see that we kept increasing here every row by a stitch, because we were placing 2 stitches at the end of every row and 2 stitches at the beginning of every row. So this is how the work should look like at this point. So from row 12 for the next 10 rows actually, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 and 21, you're going to do plain rows of no increases. So we are going to make this flat. We are going to stop placing 2 stitches at the end and at the beginning of every row on this side. So for the next 10 stitches, continue to do this, the single crochets and then the half double crochets, but then don't increase when it comes to this side. Don't do 2 stitches. You're going to do 1 stitch so that we have a flat top. So if you're a bigger size, you're going to have to do more rows, of course, of increases. So go ahead and do what suits your size. And then for me, I'm going to go ahead and do my 10 rows of no increases. So you start the same exact way, chain 1, turn your work, single crochet back loop only until the stitch with the stitch marker. Then half double crochet all the way up. So back loop only, half double crochet. But the difference with row 12 is that when you get to the last stitch here, you're going to just place 1 half double crochet back loop only. We're not going to be doing 2, only 1. So we're here at the end of row 12. And I'm placing my very last half double crochet back loop only 1 stitch there in the last stitch. Then you'll chain up 1, turn your work, do 1 half double crochet back loop only, and then continue to just go into the next stitch. No more increases. So that's what we are going to do until row 21. and then I'll meet you guys back when I have that finished, and then I'll show you the next step. So you can see the work has started becoming flat at the top already. It's no longer going like this, it's now taking this direction. So I'm done with my row 21, and you can see how the upper side of the sleeve looks like. It has taken this shape, and we're going to go to row 22. These were the first 10 rows, sorry, 11 rows, and then these are the next 10 rows. And now I'm going to go to row 22. You can see the base of the sleeve doesn't change at all, it remains the same. So for row 22, you're going to chain up 1, turn your work, you start your row as usual, back loop single crochet until the stitch marker, and then half double crochet back loop only all the way up. But this time round we are going to stop on the, when you have 3 stitches left, that's where we're going to stop. So continue to work upwards, half double crochet back loop only until you have 3 stitches to the end of the row. So right now we have 3 stitches left. You can see 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to do a reduction. So yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, and you're not going to complete this. Insert your hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through all, and at that point we've joined 2 stitches together, and then place 1 last double crochet in the last stitch, back loop only, remember. So we've done a reduction here. So that's row 22. Chain 1, turn your work, and we are going to do another reduction, another decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook in the back loop only of the first stitch, pull up a loop, and do a half double crochet in the back loop only, and now yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and insert your hook into the next stitch, back loop only, and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all. So we've joined 2 stitches together at this point. So go into the next stitches with half double crochet back loop only, and continue with the flow of the pattern. So from here until row 30, you're going to just be doing decreases on the side of the half double crochets. Remember, the side of the single crochets doesn't change at all, so we're going to just be doing decreases each and every row. So you can see we had this, and then we have the flat part, and now we've started going down. So keep reducing until row 30. You reduce at the end on this side, so your work will start moving downwards like this. So continue to do that until row 30, and I'll meet you guys when I have that. So I'm done with my 30 rows, and I've ended my work on the side of the half double crochets, and now we no longer need this stitch marker because we are done with it. This is how the base of the sleeve looks like. So we're going to fold it over like this so that we make a tube. So we are going to be attaching one stitch on this side onto the stitch on the other side. So this is how your work should look like. You can see we have a slanting thing here, then a flat, then a slant. So just fold your work over from this corner to this corner and have the tube. So I'm going to go into the back loop of this stitch and then the stitch on the other side and make a slip stitch, and then go into the next stitch and into the next stitch on the other side and make a slip stitch. And I'm going to continue doing that all the way down. So I'm going to just attach all the way down, and then I'll be back when I'm done. This is how your work should look like, and on the outside this is how your work looks like. So this is the wrong side of our work. So I'm done attaching the sides, and I formed a tube. So you'll just chain up one and cut your yarn. Shall weave in these ends later, or since it's next to a string, I'm going to just make a double knot and cut that off. And now this is the wrong side of our work, so I'm going to turn the tube onto the right side, and this is how your sleeve should look like. This is where we've joined from. This is how the sleeve looks like. It should be like this, and then it has that slanting bit on both sides, and then the flat side. So you're going to go ahead and make something exactly the same as this. Let me show you how mine is. This is the second sleeve. So one is for the right side and one is for the left side, but we do them exactly the same way, so no worries about that, nothing changes. So you're going to rewind the video and make the same identical sleeve as you made for your very first one, and at this point you can try it on and see that it suits your arm. If it doesn't, then you may have to undo it and add some more rows so that it fits you perfectly well. So go ahead and do your second sleeve, and then I'll show you how to do the neck part next. So for the neck part, you're going to start off with a slip knot, and you're going to make a chain of 40. This is going to be for every size. It's not it shouldn't be different for different sizes. I just made a general size for an adult. So 1 2 3 4 5, make a chain of 40. So when you have your 40 chains, you're going to go ahead and chain one more, and then single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then continue to single crochet all the way down into each and every chain. So one single crochet in each and every chain for a total of 40 single crochets. So right now I have my 40 single crochets, and for row 2 we're going to chain up one, turn our work, and then you go into the back loop only, single crochet back loop only, and continue to single crochet back loop only until the end of the row. So the number of stitches remains constant, and we are going to keep repeating row 2 until we have a total of 50 rows of single crochet back loop only, a total of 40 stitches. So that's all we are going to do for the neck part. I'm going to go ahead and keep building mine until I have a total of 50 rows, and then I'll get back to you. So I did a total of 50 rows, and you can see it's stretchy. So this is the cowl part of our sweater. This is the part that we are going to fold, and then it goes to the neck part like this. So this is done, and now the next thing that we are going to do is to assemble. You bring the sleeves to the neck part. So this is how you're going to leave this flat for now, and we are going to be attaching our sleeve. But the part that we want to attach of the sleeve is that part that's constant. The rows that didn't have any increases, those are the rows that we are considering to attach onto the neck part of the sweater. So count your 10 rows: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. So these are my 10 rows that didn't have any increases. We are going to be placing them here and attaching them to the neck part of the sweater. But then the other thing that I want to do is to distribute them in a certain kind of way. So I'm going to be count off. I've finished attaching here, so I was just trying to figure out how to do it. So I'm going to be showing you how I attach to this side. So you're going to get your second sleeve, identify the number of rows that you didn't have any increases or decreases. I think it's from here: 1 2 3 4 8 9 and 10. So from here to here, and you're going to count off 15 rows inside. So my 15 is here. You're going to try your best to attach these 10 rows onto 15 rows on the neck part. So the best thing to do is to start from the inside where the 15 stops. So 4 6 8 10 12 14 15. So I'm going to attach my very first part here onto the 15th row, and then I evenly distribute the 10 rows into the 15 rows of the neck. So at this point, this is how your work is going to look like. We haven't yet attached it at the back. I'm going to show you the back view, and you're going to do some things at the back so that we get a better fitting for our sweater. So you can see the back side is still very open. We're going to be attaching a button here at this point, and then we shall make a bridge between here to here to get a better fitting for our sweater at the back. So you're going to measure from here to here, and find out the length that you need for your sweater. That means you're going to measure your back side, the length between the sleeves. You can try it on and then find out the length that you need for the bridge between these two sides, because you're not going to leave it as open as this. It will look weird. We shall put a bridge between here. So that's what you're going to do right now. So for the bridge at the back, I'm going to just do a simple chain of 10. I don't want it to be so thick, so 10 chains, and then chain one more to make 11 chains, and then half double crochet in each and every stitch starting from the second chain from the hook. So you'll have a total of 10 half double crochets. So 10 half double crochets, and then I hope you determine the length that you need for your body. And then this is 10 half double crochets. For row 2, you'll chain up 1, turn your work, half double crochet, back loop only until the end, and we are going to repeat row 2 until we have the length that we need. So for me, I'm going to do a total of 20 rows of half double crochet, back loop only, 10 stitches, 10 half double crochets. So I'm going to keep working until I have a total of 20 rows of half double crochets, back loop only. Okay, so we have our 20 rows of half double crochet, back loop only. So you're going to introduce your sweater, and this is the back side of my sweater. This is how everything looks like. We haven't yet folded, so I'm pulling it down so that I can attach this bridge onto the back side of my sweater. And the way I want to do that is I'm going to just place this bridge at this point, the lowest point of my sleeve, and attach it to the stitches here at the back side. So I'll do 2 stitches and 1 stitch on this side. So 2 stitches of the bridge into 1 stitch on the sleeve. So let me grab my tapestry needle. We are attaching the sleeve to the bridge. So here is one of my rows. So I'm attaching 2 stitches of this onto this row here. So 1, and then the second stitch also into that same row. Then move on to the next row and place 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. Then move on to the next row, 1 and 2. Move on to the next row, 1 and 2. Then move on to the next row, which is the very last row, 1 and 2. So that marks the end of attaching the bridge here. You're going to do the same exact thing on this side. So I'm going to go into a few stitches here to weave in this end, and you're going to do the same thing on this side. So the other thing that I would want to tell you is, if you don't have a button to attach at this point here, you can just attach a few stitches, because this caul will pass through your head whether it's attached like this or whether it's buttoned. It's stretchy, so you can locate where you want to attach it and then join a few stitches, about like 5 stitches. So let me do that. Fold your work over like this, And then you're going to get your tapestry needle and locate where you want to attach that part. So for me, I think I'll count 20 stitches from the top. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 and 20. So my 20th is here, and also count 20 stitches from here. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 and 20. So my 20th is here. Just attach that, and I'm going to just attach going upwards. So that's one, then into the next stitch, that's two, and then the third, that's three. So you have something like this. It will be attached like this, so no need to worry if you don't have a button. So I'm going to go ahead and just weave in this end and make it more firm. But if you want to attach a button, that's really up to you. That's okay, because it can be more adjustable. So after this, you're going to cut your yarn, and I'm going to just do a double knot here, and that's how the back side is going to look like. You just fold it over like this and have this like this. So the next thing would be to do a row of single crochets, but I'm not going to do that because I love the stretch of this fabric, and I feel like putting a border is going to just limit the stretchy bit of the fabric. So this is how I prefer to have it. So I'm going to just go ahead and attach this side as I had said, and then I'll meet you back when I'm done with that. So after here, you're going to just weave in all the ends. You can see I've attached the bridge on both sides. So right now we're going to weave in all the ends, and then I'll put this sweater on my dummy to see the fitting that we've got from our creation. So yeah, this marks the end of this tutorial. I hope you guys liked it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and make sure to tag me in your creations on my Instagram page. I'll be linking all the pages in the description box. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.